Just on the topic of regenerative agriculture, then, why are you such a big proponent of it?
I think restoring rural vitalism in the middle class of America is the foundational problem of making America strong again. And that starts with a nation rises or falls with its soil. Agriculture, manufacturing, strong middle class, economic activity, everything else grows out from that. We can't have a strong nation without strong, vital rural communities. And growing food with profitable production is the foundation of that. And so regenerative agriculture is that keystone of undoing the extraction, the soil loss, the erosion, the biological diversity loss, of reinvigorating that breadbasket, quote unquote, that food production capacity of our nation in order to get economic activity happening in rural America again. Because the farm is basically supposed to be like this keystone of local rural vitalism of economic energy. Like our operation, right? Like we're running a bunch of UTVs. We got a tractor. We got trucks. Trailers and things moving around. So it's like now I need a mechanic, and then that mechanic can help fix things for other people, and like other things start spinning up around it because it's just this kicking the flywheel over of local energy. It is energy coming from the sun that's coming down free to us every day onto the land that through effectively capturing that is just pumping energy into our communities again. And that energy is just the source of rural economic vitalism.
Do you think that regenerative agriculture is possible? Because for you, you're running cattle, but say for folks that want to actually grow produce and talking from like an economic standpoint and all of that, do you believe that that's possible?
I do. I actually had this conversation with the Weaver family last night. They're running for lieutenant governor. He's running for lieutenant governor in Oklahoma in the next election cycle. And he asked me a lot of these questions because so much of the voter base in Oklahoma is agriculture. And we were talking about the different types of agriculture. You got the cropping world, the cattle world, you got the market garden, the produce world. They're all struggling for the big picture, very similar reasons. The young generation being priced out, the lack of rural labor, the brain drain of rural communities, and them leaving to go join the cities to join the financial economy. Um, but each one of them kind of has their own flavor of the key things that need solving to make it work. When it comes to produce, labor is one of the big problems. But the other one is that it's basically a two-tier market. You've got like Whole Foods, Sprouts, natural grocers selling nutrient-dense, regenerative quality product for good, healthy people. And then you've got the commodity supply chains of lower nutrient-dense product that have probably negative health outcomes because of chemical residue and things, right? And we have to see that to where it's impossible to compete with like Cisco, like these commodity food supply chains, because these global supply chains of these massive agribusinesses are so subsidized that the local farming economy is never going to outcompete it. But if we focus on the top tier, the nutrient density, especially with produce, because your average fruit and vegetable, I've read, loses 10% of its nutrients every single day between picking and getting to the consumer. Your average fruit and vegetable you buy at the grocery store is already 2 weeks old. It's basically empty, right? So there's this huge advantage if you're focused on the top tier of nutrient dense products. There's so many people now that care about that for their own health that because you're local, you can get to them faster. That you have this huge competitive advantage over these global supply chains versus trying to compete on price. So the issue is there's really two, and it's pretty simple. One is we need market coordination. That's why like we were talking earlier about Kat with her Robinson's Ranch doing the vegetables that she's selling to Fresh RX. Fresh RX being this consistent institutional type buyer has given her consistent demand of quality product that's enabled her to build her operation. The problem for a lot of these young people trying to do market gardens is they have no consistent forward predictive demand. And back to the short time horizons, right? We need some sort of market coordinating function happening where we can build maybe just local software systems where like restaurants can say like, hey, I'm going to need this many pounds of X weekly during these seasons, and then farmers can sign up for producing it in some sort of incentive model that makes it work, right? So that the consumer is sharing time horizons with the producer, just like once again with our herd owners for the beef cattle. If we can institute coordination, now we can also institute not just long time horizons production where you're not having a lot of waste at the local farm level because that waste eats them alive. Market gardens have a fixed cost structure where it's all labor based and all their profits made on the margin of making sure they move their product without wasting much of it. If we can do that coordination with a just in time, a JIT system, that is moving that food into the consumer market, whether it's retail, like local establishments that are doing nutrient dense food, or restaurants, or CSA boxes, that is a huge, huge multiplier of profitability for those operations. The other problem is the misinformation in the marketplace, which this is huge, and we keep coming back to it in every different angle of this conversation. There's a group in Oklahoma, I won't name them, that is selling 1,500 CSA boxes in this northeast Oklahoma region. I think it's northeast per. I think it's per week. I might be on the wrong unit of time there. I think it's per week. Um, they're advertising it as nutrient dense local food. They're not. They're buying it from commodity production of the big local, like the big, like just supply chains, not Cisco. It's from like a different supplier. And all these people who are spending this premium dollar thinking they're supporting local Oklahoma economic activity, local Oklahoma farmers, that they're getting fresh, nutrient dense produce for the health of their families, they're not getting it. We need to bring honesty back in the marketplace again. Part of that is we need to push forward the science of nutrient testing. We need to bring almost like medical grade standards of this food has X level of these vitamins and these phytonutrients compared to this food, so there's differentiation. And we need to figure out not just like how to get the cost of the test down to make that accessible, but like so much of nutrient science is actually totally an unknown right now.